welcome to another edition of the Santa Monica Beat. I'm Julie Garcia. For today's top story, we go to the Santa Monica Airport where the city unveiled a collection that has been in the dark for 10 years. The Beat's Avisha Shea has the story.
A decade after closing its doors, the Museum of Flying at the Santa Monica Airport held their grand opening on Saturday, and residents flooded the entrance to see the new exhibits.
It took a long time in terms of the engineering and the architecture. We wanted to use some of the old buildings to replicate history, so that isn't so easy.
It's a great addition not only to the airport but to the city, because the young children that are growing up today, they look at airplanes as waiting rooms and they don't really know where it all came from, and this really helps that them learn that it's part of our culture and history as a nation, this thing called aviation.
And Santa Monica's aviation has had a major influence on history.
The first airplanes that flew around the world flew from this airport. Douglas created the modern airline industry at this airport. 40,000 people worked here. There was all these things that happened here, and the museum now is part of that historical context.
You see all these houses around here? Guess why they're here? It's because of the Douglas aircraft. There's so many people who have participated in this over the decades that their hearts are here, and it continues. Really, it illustrates America.
This museum has many interactive features to attract a younger generation. From this real cockpit to flight simulators coming soon, Santa Monica's rich aviation history can continue. For the Santa Monica Beat, I'm Avisha Shea.
Thank you, Avisha. In the Santa Monica Mix, Santa Monica Place is bringing in musicians from around the region to perform for their shoppers. Jazz, blues, and even a cappella groups will perform in the courtyards every weekend in the afternoon. The bands will play through March 20th. And for all Dr. Seuss fans, the main library is holding a Seussabration on Saturday. The day includes a juggling show, Seuss crafts, and other family activities. The celebration begins at 10:30 in the morning. And for the 5th year in a row, high school students from Southern California submitted films to the Pacifica Screen Film Festival. The Beat's Aaron Storm has the story.
In the midst of award season, the fun stretched to the Aero Theater as Pacifica Christian High School hosted their annual Student Film Festival.
It's connected to another film festival that the Culver City Academy of Visual Performing Arts had called the Frost Film Festival that was in existence for 12 years. So that festival inspired us to start ours. So it's a really neat network of film teachers and film students, and a nice collaboration of filmmaking and the film community.
We had about 100 submissions from 30 schools, and we narrowed it down to 14 finalists, which will be shown tonight.
We've been planning for the last 3 months. It's a lot of prep, a lot of work, a lot of phone calls. I reached a bunch of schools, and we really just want to have a place where we can showcase all of these incredible talent that we have.
Everyone knows about the Aero and the Egyptian theaters. It's a big community, not just school-wise, but as in a community of filmmakers. To be here at the Aero makes it a lot greater.
It's hard, time management, I would say. You have to be able to put time into things, and it's really hard, but if you love it, like I do, I have a passion for it, you're going to do it and you're going to get it done.
And on this night, the students met guest speaker Joe Russo, who's the director for NBC's Community and ABC's Happy Endings.
I love it. I mean, it's spectacular. When I was in high school, there was no film class. It's a very, very rarefied medium that was only accessible to kids who had family in the industry. It's always the most important thing is you have to get the right people to see the work that you're working on. But with the internet, it's a great way to get eyeballs on very quickly.
Because we live in the digital era, there are more opportunities for students to make films and have their work seen. Festivals like these allow students to come together, showcase their work, and make future projects. And with the amount of entries in this festival, the future of filmmaking looks bright. For the Santa Monica Beat, I'm Aaron Storm.
Thank you, Aaron. And now for sports, here's Spencer Lee.
Thank you, Julie. I am Spencer Lee, and another week of the CIF has passed. Who's still in? Let's find out. 7 teams entered the week in the hunt for a CIF championship, but after a full week of competition, the teams from Samo High, Pacifica Christian, and St. Monica were all knocked out of the tournament. And the path for the Crossroads soccer team was steep as well. They took on #1 seed Ontario Christian on Tuesday and fell behind by 2 goals in the second half when Cody Catano passes the ball to himself to beat the Rhodes defense. Dylan Ochoa tries to cut him off, but that leaves the net wide open and Catano puts the Knights up 3-1. But Crossroads comes back later in the second. The ball goes to Nate Merchant in the goalie box, and he will go southpaw and drill it over the head of Trevor Riffey to cut the lead to 1. But that's not all. Only 3 minutes later, the Roadrunners get a corner kick and get 2 looks at the net. The first one is blocked, but Quade Walker gets the second chance chance in the mess and puts it in to tie the game. That would force sudden death. And in sudden death, the ball advances and dribbles past while the defense sleeps, and Sam Hakeem pops it in, and the Roadrunners complete the comeback to win 4-3 and stay alive in the CIF. And the crazy thing? Crossroads did the same thing on Thursday, winning 4-3 in overtime with a golden goal by Sam Hakeem. The Roadrunners will play at Desert Hot Springs tomorrow in the semifinals. Check in at smmirror.com to see if they're going to the championship. Julie?
And that does it for us today. Be sure to join us next Monday at 9 a.m. Until then, I'm Julie Garcia for the Santa Monica Beats, brought to you by the Santa Monica Mirror.